Valentine's Day to everybody in Las Vegas. Thank you for joining in on the 1828 project, where we are creating Black history in Las Vegas and acknowledging those who need to be acknowledged, right? I'm gonna try to give y'all some of the best energy today, right? It ain't the best day, but we're gonna make it the best day, right? Man, today I have an amazing guest. I'm not only sharing to y'all a stable in the community, but this is my mentor, right? I feel like, I feel some way about sharing my mentor with y'all. It's like, bringing your parent to the, to an event, and then, you want to show off. So I got to bring extra energy. I got to make sure that I got great tonality. I got to make sure that my words are perfect. But we're going to jump right into it, because I know that all my other interviews have went on extended over an hour. My man Shaundell Newsome let me know. He said, look, we got to do some work with the Raiders today and the organization. We're only going to get 40 minutes. So I don't want to take up too much of time. But here we go. Welcome to the 1828 Project. I am your host, Brandon Ward, and this episode is, with Shaundell Newsome. So we're going to talk about creating Black history in Las Vegas. Our guest is Shaundell Newsome here, who is an entrepreneur. He's a veteran. He's also a marketing expert who has been making a difference in the Black community over Las Vegas for a lot of years, right? I mean, I'm gonna say probably since he's been here, but I've been able to actually be there and sit side by side and see some of the moves that he's made. It's somebody I follow. This is somebody that I admire. So, Shaundell, thank you for coming on the show today. Welcome.
It's my pleasure to be here in the show, and congratulations to you with launching this. I saw that, you got a lot of folks coming on. I am blessed to have the opportunity to be your mentor, and thank you for allowing me the pleasure of giving you whatever I can give you. It's up to you, whatever you take, but I'll give you whatever I got.
Definitely. And I want to let y'all know right now that please feel free to participate in the comments. It's always very rewarding to see you guys participate and put those comments in there. If you got any questions for Shaundell, put them in there. If I can't get to those questions, I'll make sure that he addresses those at a later time in the comment section. But y'all participate, and we're gonna give my man his flowers. So I know, Shaundell, we don't have too much time today, and I know I didn't give you too much of a brief. I mean, it was very brief bio. So this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna start off with your background. All right.
Okay.
Let me get these banners set. So you got a very fascinating journey, serving in the Air Force and then transition into the world of marketing. Can you tell us more about your story?
Well, what's interesting is I started marketing before then. I was like a nerd that read books on the A train on my way to school. I went to the High School of Graphic Communication Arts, and then I was mentored by a guy named Michael Collins, who had a print shop. And back then, printing was what it was all about, printing billboards, printing ads, doing things like that. But I studied a guy named David Ogilvy, who is actually the architect of advertising in the United States, even though he was a British guy. If you ever look up Ogilvy Mather, they're one of the largest advertising agencies in the world. So, as a kid, that's, some kids were fascinated by basketball. Some people were fascinated by rap. I was fascinated by marketing.
I love marketing too, man. Marketing, I just don't think how people understand how important it is, but then I don't think they understand how with marketing right now, the way it is, it's so much easier than what it used to be to reach the masses, right? What have you seen in the transition of the marketing space since you first started to now?
Well, what's interesting is, like I said, everything back then was print. Now you have digital communications and internet communications. And what the difference is that when you had printing, you had a limited capacity of who you could reach. Because if you put in a newspaper, it would reach the audience that read that paper in that city or in that locale. Now you have the internet with social media. And when I was on the American Marketing Association board, that kind of concerned us a little bit, because now people can put things out there and they don't have a control of the message like they used to. There used to be a lot of fact checking and things like that, but it's not much of that happening right now. Just like the other day when a gas pipe or something busted in Nevada or in Las Vegas, everybody was running out to get gas, but the news came already from the county that you don't have to worry, because we got fail safes for that. But everybody was texting and everybody was on social. Man, go get your gas or run out. So that's one thing that has changed a lot, like the instantaneous part of getting the message out.
Yeah, and it's so important. And so, talking to you over the years, people would think that your business probably does like social media marketing, some flyers. You want to give them some details about the Sumnu way and how you guys do, not even some details, just give them a little bit of why y'all are different.
Well, you know, it is a misperception because everybody wants to be a social media influencer. Everybody wants to do websites and do things like that. Well, I did that when I was in high school. So really what was fascinating to me is what I learned at stations is you're more about the research. The research, if you can figure out the psychographics of a customer and a client, you could do more things. But I also found that as a small business and especially as a minority business, nobody plays in the space of research. So we do a lot of grassroots outreach, like with RTC, we do surveys, ask how the customer's feeling, which gives them feedback. And what's interesting is today they're doing this thing with the RTC called, Love Your Ride, which is directly from a lot of the surveys that they've done where people have said, hey, I don't feel safe, I don't feel this, I don't feel that, and they're responding to it. And that's the part that people don't realize with marketing. They love the communication part. They love the output, but most people don't like the input. And Sumnu primarily does more input and research and analysis of people and their behaviors than anything else. So we're like the behavioral analysis unit, right? we're like the best kept secret in a lot of ways. And you get to experience that firsthand.
Yeah, a lot of wisdom, a lot of strategy. You know, it's really a game of chess over there. And
yes,
there's really a team over there that's brought together.
Oh yeah, wait, the chess. I got chess.
Yeah, I see it. So you went from working in station casinos. I know you said you did some entrepreneurship before that, but then you went back into entrepreneurship. Yes. What led you to become an entrepreneur?
You know, it's an interesting, there's two things that made me become an entrepreneur and made me start thinking about. The beginning was Michael Collins. Michael Collins was a guy in my neighborhood, dressed like George Jefferson, wore the suit and tie, had the afro tight, had a Lincoln Town car, but nobody was chasing him. It wasn't like the drug dealers. And I grew up in Bed-Stuy, right? Do or die. And back then you only saw drug dealers with the money and the clothes and the cars. And then he would come into church and drop a wad, right? If a guy can drop a wad like that, it's like, wow, man, that dude, he must not be hurting for money. Then later on, I found out, my dad owned a brownstone. He owned like 5. I'm like, wow, this dude is balling. So I got to work for his company and I got closer to him. And then I also noticed this, Brandon. My dad was a Vietnam vet. God bless him. He had some friends who came over. They would, sit in the living room, listen to Motown, drink beer, smoke a little weed, and then have, hey, they had a different conversation. When I went with Michael's cats, they were talking about investments. They were all talking about their future. They were talking about their legacies, whole different conversation. So that really inspired me first to be an entrepreneur at 14. And then later on, I looked at what the Fertitta family was able to do with their family. They were helping cousins and siblings and the whole family had a job. And so I said, boy, I want to do that for my family. So yeah, I was inspired by that. But the main reason I was inspired is because my grandfather grew up in the Jim Crow South. And in the Jim Crow South, he didn't have opportunities like we have today. My grandfather was like 6'4", 6'5". He had to lean over and hunch. We always wondered why he did that, but that was because he couldn't look people in the eye. The other thing that was sad is that my grandfather was a carpenter. And he couldn't keep his job as a carpenter because union protections didn't protect Black folks back then. So basically, the short version is he became very, very frustrated and very abusive to my grandmother. And he never talked to my dad and them. But that's what Black men had to go through back then. I said, I will never, ever go through that because two months before I went in the military, he passed away. And he told me, hey, I don't ever want you to feel the way that I felt. And I promised him I wouldn't. So even though I worked for the Fertittas, they were wonderful to me. I wanted to do something on my own and build a legacy for my family.
Man, and that's what you're building, an absolute legacy. Your daughter, what role does she play on your team?
She's the CEO and senior managing partner for the company with me and Arlene for Sumnu. And really, that was a strategic move for what she's doing now. She had to learn. I'm all, when they say OJT, they talk about OJT when you when you work at a restaurant or you work in another job. But she was an OJT as a CEO. She had to learn how to take the lumps when the lumps happen. She had to learn how to invest her own money and put her own chips in the game. And then that taught her like how to react and how to deal with things. What I've seen other people make a mistake is they bring their kids in and the kids just kick back, come in, drink a soda or something, and then they reap the benefits, but they don't get the pain from birthing a business. So she's doing great. She's when I left, she was at the office. That ought to tell you something.
That's right. And then you got the rest of the family in there too. Well, many of the family members. Let's say the rest of the family. You got a big family.
Oh yeah. And everybody get to play a role, man. My son was in there. My niece Carla was in there. And what they said it did for them is it helped them to even become better at whatever else they were going to do. So when my son started his clothing line and he did personal training, it taught him how to treat customers, how to deal with people, how to market his business. And the same thing with Carla. Carla said, she works for the Veterans Administration now. And she's like, in my department, I run things the same way I ran things at Sumnu. So it's not just that everybody becoming an entrepreneur, it's everybody becoming better at their craft.
I love it, man. I love it. Mm-hmm. And with that support, you can only grow when you had the support and you got the leadership. That's
yeah.
Cool. So you have received many awards for your work in the community. Can you tell us about the one of the awards that means the most to you and why?
See, I would say the award I got the one I got at Victory was special because it came from my pastor, it came from my church.
And that was Sunday, right?
That was just this Sunday. But the one that really, really means a lot to me because of my father. My father passed away in 2009. Is the SBA Nevada Family Owned Business of the Year award.
Okay.
And the reason why that was important is because now I know we have arrived. It was a portrait with me, Carla, Tiara, my son Thomas, my wife Arlene. We all came together and really helped to dig this company out of the recession, the Great Recession. And that after that, receiving that award as, think about it, the Family-Owned Business of the Year in the state of Nevada. That was amazing to me. That meant a lot.
Yeah, and for it not to be just the black owned business, that's amazing. So it's very cool, man. And
and it was huge. And then in 2017, we won a national award with the NMSDC, and we didn't know the competition was stiff. And that was out of, like they said, 26,000 businesses. And that too was special. But the family-owned business one was incredible. That got me.
Yeah, I love that one too. Now, one that stood out to me was the one you got from the city. And I know they put your name on a street over there, on a sign, and they gave you some great recognition. What was that award?
That was the Citizen of the Month, right? And I cherish all the recognition that we get because we don't get recognized for a lot, in life. But I feel that was special. That came from Ward 5 and Cedric Creer, Councilman Creer, who near and dear to my heart. We met working at Station Casinos, but I don't think he gave me the award because he knew me. He just gave it was a lot we were doing with the chamber, a lot of work we were doing hard. We were creating jobs, and we created a lot of jobs and a lot of economic opportunities for small businesses. We helped a lot of them out of this recent pandemic. So I think that was what the award was about. But it was a team effort, and the folks at the chamber did a spectacular job. I just happened, and it was a blessing to be in leadership at that time. So I think that was a lot of it.
Yeah, I think, instrumental has been your career within this community. I don't think people realize what a benefit it is having somebody like you at the table.
Thank you.
Somebody who is fair, somebody who can communicate with all generations, all ethnicities, all age groups. And at the same time, you know how to hold your composure. You know how to keep your, you called me one day and you said, man, if you only knew what these people was doing, they think we stupid. And you laughed at them, right? And I was like, that's your growth right there, because back in the days, we didn't even know they plans. We didn't even know the strategies that they would use to suppress us. And now you at the table laughing at the plays that they creating. And it's like, it just shows so much growth. So I just want to just thank you for being at the table. And then I also want to say thank you for giving me access to some of the information as it comes down, because it's preparation. And I thank you for that. Succession planning. I know you've been real good at succession planning as well. Let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about why it's important for you to succession plan, no matter what it is that you're doing.
Well, I think it goes back to my grandfather, and I felt really, really bad for him because he never even tried to communicate. But I see all the things that hurt him, right? And I think succession planning is a thing that fathers should do, is something that men should do, especially in the Black community. Like, I think one of the reasons why we suffer and we continue to go in this spin cycle is because we have a ton of women who are out doing this empowerment walk and doing all that, but we don't have enough men. We just don't have enough. And I know Black men think that I'm throwing shade on them. I'm not throwing shade. I'm really being honest, because you got to start from a factual place, right? And I know it started with my grandfather and even my father, who served in Vietnam. Mentally, we're just torn apart. And one of the things, Brandon, that is real important is that we got to be honest with ourselves. If you and I did this kind of calculation in my family and took a look, and when I looked at men being incarcerated or dead, and all the women raising children, even when I met my wife, right, she was raising 4 boys. How do we feel like that's okay? That's why I do the succession planning, and I try to help our young men. Because one thing I think is important is, and I know, like we talked about, the topic of new in you. And I think that's a different thing, is like something new is about knowledge of self, right? If you know yourself, you can build, what does Shakespeare say, right? He said, know thyself, know to love yourself, and then above all, to thine own self be true. That's what Shakespeare said in Hamlet, right? You got to love yourself. And I'm gonna be honest, like, a lot of people don't love themselves. They say they do. And on social media, they're like, oh, look at me. But they really, deep down inside, people don't love themselves. And people who don't love themselves, people who love themselves don't have to fake confidence.
Right.
We're real with confidence, and we're real with that because I love myself. I love God. I love myself. I can love my wife. My grandfather didn't love himself. And that's my point. So the succession planning is, I'm passing along to the next generation. Love yourself, love your community, love your children. Stop walking around with a frown on your face, because there's nothing to frown about, right? I know Snoop said it a different way, but I can't say it on this family show. But smile, right? And let's think about what we can do. And think about this scripture. I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I know that full and well. That's Psalms 139:14. So I just say, love yourself, man, and then pass it along, pass love to the next generation. Don't pass fear and hate like my grandfather unfortunately had to do.
Man, that's great. I had Pastor West on the show the other day, and I said, give me a scripture to read, Pastor. He gave me Psalms 46:10. Now, don't ask me what it said. I don't remember. But I'm going to tell you, it was on time. It was right on time.
Yeah.
So you've been involved in several small business administration programs, including Boost the Business. Mm-hmm. Also, one that I attended, Next Level for Entrepreneurship. How important do you think that these programs are for the Black community in Vegas, and they need to take advantage of these?
So, what's interesting? A lot of these programs were built for Black people. Like Nixon, the one thing that I don't like about this country sometimes is we leave out we do half the story. So President Nixon at the time really set up the small business development centers through legislation, and it was to help quote unquote Negroes to help to build businesses and minorities, right? It seemed like it flipped. They go minorities and Black folks. But I think the reason why that's so important is because we don't have a generation ahead of us that already has run a business, and we're learning like that. We're not part of the Kennedy chain. We're not part of the Disney chain. We're not part of all these different chains that have helped build entrepreneurs. So we have to educate ourselves. We have to educate ourselves on business, on finance, on how to finance a business. It's a whole different ball game. And so I think it's extremely important. And for veterans, when you transition, you got to just remember that you learn some great skills on mission focus, on how leadership, all of those things, and you can't lose that when you transition into your own business. And I always tell veterans this: if you worked for the military and you had to go in on Sunday, or you had to pack your bag and leave on a moment's notice, why do you treat your business different? Why, if you have to do something for your business, why do you say, well, I'm the owner, so I don't have to do that? You have to treat it with the same respect as if you're working for anybody else. And so I think those courses are really, really crucial to the veteran community, as well as to the African American and Black community, that we have to get educated on what we need to do, and then you can play chess and not checkers.
Yeah, yes, definitely. I truly think that it improves your value. You know, you
really
go there, you learn so much. It's just it's philosophies, it's different aspects. And I think that especially with entrepreneurs that are minority entrepreneurs, we're so talented and we're so skilled at what it is, but we don't realize the foundation that we need to support it, to build around it. And then we don't realize that because we're good doesn't mean that we have to do it. We can train a team, we can train some interns. I mean, you can have somebody there that can definitely support you. And I think that's what's important for people to really get into these incubator programs, all these programs that are involved. I think it's important for people to join chambers like the Urban Chamber of Commerce, because we don't know everything. Sometimes we need that incubator's assistance to help us, to feed us, to let us know, remind us constantly, and then put yourself in that community where you're held accountable as well.
And we got breaking news for you. So we're going to be starting a new program with the city of Las Vegas in conjunction with the Urban Chamber. We're going to be helping entrepreneurs on the historic West Side, these businesses that are on the historic West Side, or people who want to be a part of the historic West Side. So it's wide open pretty much. And we're going to be doing business counseling. We're going to be doing some workshops. You guys are involved. The We Mentality is involved, because there's two sides you got to understand when you run a business. You got to understand the business side, and then you got to understand the you side. So I think that both sides, this is what's going to make us unique, is we're going to focus on your business, but we're going to focus on you as well. Because if you build both together, do you realize the opportunities that are in this international city called Las Vegas? There are huge opportunities, but you got to prepare yourself, your business, and you got to prepare yourself for both.
Definitely.
So we can ready to launch that, and we're looking at February 25th. That we'll have a kickoff. I'll send out some information. I'll get you some information. They're still baking out all the different details, but it's going to be amazing what we're going to be doing for minority businesses, Black-owned businesses, historic West Side businesses. It's going to be an amazing feat.
Now, is it a cost to that program?
No cost.
Okay.
That's the great thing. It's not going to cost you anything. Like people, and that's the beauty of it, right? Like we have been contracted, the Chamber and Sumnu, to come into the community and help build our businesses in our community, which we've done. I've done it as a volunteer for the past 12 years. So it actually feels better now to get paid to do it, which is a little bit better.
And I know I had it as a vision of mine. I know when we first talked, our first conversation, you was like, what's your vision, young man? And I told you I wanted to help out small businesses, entrepreneur Black businesses in the community. And now look what's manifested, man. Look where we at.
Full circle.
So real quick, Frank Rose said, let's go. Thank you, Frank, for coming on. I appreciate you. Danette Bro is in the house. She said, yes, education is the key. That was when you was talking about educating small business owners and preparing them for the journey that they'll be taking. We got my man Greg DeVille in the house. He said, we appreciate our veterans, definitely, especially from Boosted Business, and we appreciate the work that you do in the community. Shaundell. Kelsey West in the house too. He said, Mr. Newsome. And then Danette said, we appreciate you guys. All right, thank you. I appreciate you too, Danette. Yeah, I appreciate you.
So, Danette, let me tell you about two people that I think I admire and I respect. It's Danette Bro and Marty Frierson for these two reasons. I was so emotional this morning watching Marty on the news talking about doing a wedding with his wedding chapel in Las Vegas on Valentine's Day. You guys realize how much money is made in the wedding industry in Las Vegas? And Marty didn't go, I'm gonna be a consultant, I'm gonna do this, and nothing against consultants, but he invested his money into a chapel. He invested his money into a new dream. I remember when that brother started with a camera and taking photos at different events. And then the net, I remember the net with 2 hot plates on a table and doing funnel cakes. My wife loved funnel cakes. I didn't even know what funnel cakes were. But me and Danette go way back before then, my station days. Amazing woman. And now she's showing her son, talk about succession. Her son was at the NFL meeting recently with her. And I was just like, wow, man. And so I say this, it is infectious. And we have been infectious in so many things that were negative. What I love is that Danette is doing the same thing that we've been doing with Sumnu, and she has her son involved and he's running the business. Man, you don't know how great that feels to watch Kelsey with Kyle. I love watching you guys come together, and you know your kids are young, Brandon, but I want to see them one day, you know, get them ready for the business world, man. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, they seeing it. I know when they see me doing it, I know my son, he come up here, he go all the way down trying to get on the screen, trying to talk. He already
let him
on.
Let him flow.
So can you tell us about becoming a prominent voice in the Black community in Vegas?
You know, I didn't want to become a prominent voice in the Black community in Vegas. I wanted to make.
Look at God.
Hey, man, and many times I had to sit in Pastor Fowler's office and really pray on this, man, because it's the Black community. Sometimes we are our worst enemy. We are very vicious to each other. And I really did not want to do that because I knew what I was in store for. And so the one thing, two opportunities. One is I wanted to make sure that when I became that person who's 50 plus, which I am now, I didn't want to discourage people. I wanted to encourage people. And I know a lot of people used to discourage us because they're like, wait your turn. Well, sometimes that turn never came. So I think that was important. And then the other thing was really, I wanted to go places where people haven't gone before, right? I went to the LVCVA meeting today. You know, I would love to see more of us at the LVCVA meeting because you will be surprised how much money is flowing through our city and through conventions and tourism and all of that. So I wanted to do that, but God led me, man. If it wasn't for God and Pastor Fowler and other people like Pastor West and Reverend Scott and Reverend Jordan, there's many people who have pushed me to say, you know, to see that greatness. And now Pastor Sean Taylor, I didn't want to do this, and many people don't think that they don't believe me when I say that because they say, well, you do so well. I don't want to be in front of a bunch of people. I don't want to lead everybody. I want to sit in my backyard and play with my dog and play with my grandkids. So it is when God says, hey, I'm gonna assign you to do something, it's typically something you don't want to do, and it's typically bigger than you ever imagined. So I'm blessed in that sense. So I'm not complaining. I love what God has done. And I'm thankful. I'm really thankful.
All right, I got you for 6 more minutes. Jessica Green said, amen. Shout out to Jessica. I know she's over here as a volunteer and a member at the Urban Chamber.
Yes.
And a friend as well. So thank you, Jessica, for participating and commenting. Just B gave you you threw them in there.
Right.
And Jessica said, thank you. Kelsey says his son tried to be DMC. Or no, he tried to be DMC, but he is run. You know, that's all right, I got you for 5 more minutes, Shaundell. I know I got to get you out of here. Let me pick my question wisely. We're going to go on. Can you speak to any challenges or obstacles? I'm not even going to say that you face in the Black community, but we'll say any challenges that we face as a Black community.
I think it goes.
How can we
I think the Black community, it goes back to self-worth and value. I think that sometimes we have to understand ourselves. So, you know, I do a lot of reading. So, you know, I think you got to start understanding. So, you know, I read the 1619 Project.
I got that.
Some of my books. I just came back from the National Museum of African American History and Culture. I bought some more books for my grandkids. You know, I think the biggest challenge that we have is not educating ourselves. And a lot of times we're not paying attention. Remember, and Kelsey will know this, KRS-One talked about we shouldn't be studying CJ and Run. That's not our culture, right? We shouldn't be studying those things, but they were teaching us those things, and we should be studying our history. We need to be studying that we were kings and queens before we were slaves, even as we went through the Middle Passage and where we've risen from. Our kids need to know that. We can't fall for the okie doke, man. And I'm gonna tell you, Dr. Naeem Akbar from Papers in African Psychology talks about how we fall for everything. We fell for middle class when they were building businesses. Now we're falling for millions of dollars while they're taking billions of dollars. Do you know that Elon Musk, while he walking around buying Twitter and everything, he didn't pay any taxes? How is that fair to you? But they want to cut your Social Security. They want to cut everything else. We got to be involved in legislation. We got to be involved in policy. We got to understand that there are people out there who do mean harm to us. Not everybody. Not every white person is evil or any other person is evil. But the ones that are evil are the ones that are making the decisions that want to keep you down. You got to know how to play chess and not play checkers. So I think the biggest challenge for us is we playing too many checkers. They switched up on us when we built hip hop. They switched up, threw some money in it, turned it into another form of hip hop, when hip hop used to be encouraging. It used to be uplifting. It used to be go out and wear your African medallion and you know, and then all of a sudden it shifted to, you know, black women are bees and blah, blah, blah. We fell for the okie doke. And so we can't blame anybody else. We know the game and we're much smarter than that. We're the originators, not the imitators. So I think that's what Black history is about. Understanding where we came from. We created a lot of stuff, or we improved on stuff. The light bulb right there won't work if it wasn't for a Black inventor called Lewis Latimer. The filament, the one that Edison made didn't work but a few minutes. It fizzed out in a second. Right. We got to understand that. And that's what I tell you. My father did the best thing in the world, getting us in Black encyclopedias when we were kids. And that changed my whole life. I look at Black people as, you know, the kings and queen. And I'm not putting down nobody else, because everybody say, well, when you do that, is that no, we're uplifting our culture and our people to be greater than we could even imagine.
I think that would speak on to what does creating Black history mean to you? And
it means everything. It means everything. And it means what my grandfather didn't get to do this. I get to influence my grandkids when they see Papa walk, like when Maya was with me just the other day, and she was like, how do you walk around so prideful with your dashiki on, and you in front of a bunch of white people? Well, I just did that at the LVCVA. I just did that at the Vegas Chamber. And it's not to throw anything in anybody's face. It's to educate them on where we come from. So when somebody asks me about this, about my attire, I can educate them. I give them that opportunity. Be bold about who you are, but more importantly, understand and study who we are.
I love that, man. I can ask you so many more questions. It's the last one I got for you, because you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Give me some other community members who you would like to acknowledge.
Oh, wow. I just acknowledged a couple of them, right? I acknowledge you, your wife, Tiffany, and you know, my wife. Man, listen, my wife is an incredible silent person that does a lot for the young people through the internships and things like that. And she keeps it real with those folks at the office. Like, I love the way she does what she does. Like I said, my pastor is an amazing person. I talked about, my family members, the DeVilles, right? I love that my niece and Greg are doing some amazing things. I know that they're doing this conference. I think that's very uplifting. I just think anybody who's doing something in the community, my man Craig Knight, man, one of the most undervalued people I ever met in my life. Luke Collins, the Edmondsons. See how now it's coming back to families. You got LJ and AK. yeah, man, the list could go on and on, bro. I don't have enough time to say everybody. So I'm just blessed to be a part of the Las Vegas community and family.
That's right. Well, thank you, Shaundell. I appreciate you. Danette said she lost access and jumped back on. She had to hear the rest, right?
Oh.
You can go back and hear the replay. Kenji said, be proud to wear it. Yes, sir, man. I'm pretty sure you get many compliments on the dashikis. I'm pretty sure they love it. But we love you, man. I want to say thank you so much just for the work that you put in. Thank you for your mentorship. Thank you for your vision. And thank you for sharing it with us, because it's very inspiring to see somebody live what they say and be about our business, man. I truly have anything you ever need from me, I'm always going to be here for you. I know you've always been there for me. So last thing, Shaundell, I know you got to go, but I want to see if you know who my next guest is. You probably don't know him. You might do. We're going to see. But my next guest for tomorrow's episode on February 15th is a brother by the name of Nathan Atkins. You know Nathan?
I know Nathan.
All right.
Yeah.
What you know about Nathan?
I just saw when I see Nate. I saw him at the Obsidian and Neon recently. Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
So Nathan is an amazing guy. Matter of fact, Nathan ran up against Twix as well when we just had our new mayor for North Las Vegas. Nathan is doing this amazing things in the community. He's doing good. So before I even get you out of here, Shaundell, parting words, sir, and then you can head out.
You know what? I always say that, be the best you that you can be. That's the parting words. Be the best you that you can be. Don't let anybody else define you. Just be the best you that you can be. I'm going to be the best Shaundell that I can be.
Thank you, Shaundell. We appreciate you being that, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You need us to support you with anything? You need us to show up to
any
event?
You know what? Keep your ears open for the small business workshops. I'm getting ready to head out to to do this thing with the NFL for the Super Bowl Business Connect, and so just keep your ears out, because we actually have an extension of the application. So March 11th, I think, is the new date. We'll get that information out. So just look, keep your ears open, because I'm always going to be sharing things. And listen, when I share, it means something, because I'm putting the work in to put it out there. I hope everybody can take advantage.
All right, we appreciate you, man. You be careful out there in the snow. It's wet. Be safe.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, brother. Thank you.
God bless. All right, y'all. And that's it, man. That was my man, Shaundell Newsome. I thought it was a great episode. Great insight. Great work that's being done. I don't think that we even talked about half the work that I know, that I'm aware of, that he's doing. But I think that it's something that we all need to be aware of. We all need to be on the lookout for. And if you can, sign up for these programs. If you're an entrepreneur, sign up. Business owner, even if you feel like you know everything, just still sign up, because the people in the room can be a resource to you, right? You need to be around like-minded individuals, people who understand your lifestyle, people who understand what it is that you're doing. They understand that it's tough, right? You want to be around other entrepreneurs, other business owners, and you want to be able to feed off their energy. You want to hear about the problems that they've had, and you want to be able to, okay, I can eliminate going through that learning process because you've already done it. You can do that group mentorship. Another thing is take advantage of the mentors that are given to you, that you have access to. You don't know everything. And even if you think you know everything, sometimes you got to go back to the basics. And sometimes you need a mentor or a business coach to definitely help you. For those that are business owners, entrepreneurs as well, I want you to make sure that you make it out to some events. That's very important. The Urban Chamber is having an event tomorrow at the Smith Center. It's at 9:00. It's called Coffee and Commerce. It's free to guests. Come on out, man. Come network. Come have some bagels, some coffee, some donuts, whatever it is that they share. But come and get the knowledge and the information. And look, they got a hot speaker. It was my guest on Sunday, but you want to be there, man. It's my man, Robert Twix Taylor, former candidate for North Las Vegas mayor. Also, he owns barbershops, and he's an entrepreneur. He does rap. He's also going to be speaking on the Wealth Mindset Conference coming up in April 16th. If I was y'all, go get y'all tickets now before they start selling out, because when tax time comes, them tickets going to sell out. And right now, they're very affordable, so take advantage of it. Let me hit up these comment section real quick, because I love the fact that y'all participated, and I don't want you to feel as if you didn't get heard today. So Danette said, nice. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, Danette. On this membership committee, we constantly got to be putting the word out there, right? Hopefully I can see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you around. Congratulations on all your success. I've been seeing your name and your business pop up. I love it. I was going to wear my Bros Funnel Cake shirt today, but I decided to go with orange. Danette also said, I agree. Great episode. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Danette. Thank you. I appreciate you. That gave me motivation to keep it going. Kenji said, show me a man that knows everything, and I'll show you a man who don't know. That's right. That don't know, poop emoji. And then I will see you tomorrow. But man, I appreciate y'all. Let me just tell y'all a little bit about my guest tomorrow. I'm gonna read his bio real quick. I definitely want y'all to come out. We're doing these every day. Every day. I think there's one day I didn't get set up for. It was the 16th. So I got the 16th available if somebody want to come on the 16th. It won't be late evening. It'll probably end up being sometime around, I'll probably do it around like 4 if somebody wanted to come on. So you can come on around like 4. I definitely would like to do it. If not, if you're a man, I'll see you at the men's room. We're going to be there at 6 p.m. You want to make sure you're there. Sean Torrey and their team is putting together some great things. If you haven't been to one yet, you definitely need to be there. And if you have been to one, be a reoccurring member. I think we need to be in a room every month, once a month. And I think they got it set up and scheduled for that exactly. All right, but let me pull up my man Nate's bio. Where you at, my guy? Did I not post his bio yet? Oh, I'm slacking on my marketing over here. My guy we should already knew what was going on. You know what? I got it right here in my submittal form. All right. Nathan Atkins. He's a combat Army veteran with 25 years. He also has B2B sales and sales leadership experience working within various Fortune 100 and 500 companies. He's an entrepreneur, serving his community in health and wellness space, working to educate, support, and empower our community to improve and maintain their quality of life through routine natural care, right? We definitely need routine natural care. And then he's also a husband, a father, and an active community participant, serving on the board of veterans, life service, and Las Vegas Juan Rotary Club. He's also a member of the Vegas Chamber Military Affairs member, and he's also a member of the Urban Chamber of Commerce. So, man, make sure y'all stop by and see his interview. His interview is tomorrow at, all the times have been different because I've been having these interviews based on everybody else's schedule since they're every day. So let me pull up the time real quick. I think he had the 5:35 one. Yeah, my man's interview is tomorrow at 5:35. So it's gonna be a great one. But then be on the lookout for these every day, once a day. And then another thing is go back and watch the previous episodes. My previous episodes, absolute fire, right? I think I got something for somebody. And you've seen this written real heavy on the males, and it's not intentional. The males are just getting back the paperwork to me. I do have some females who have also submitted as well. But another thing is a lot of females, they want to save their episode for next month, because I'm going to do the same thing next month for Women's History Month. And I want to acknowledge some of the women that are really doing things out here in the community. And but there's still going to be some women's during this Black History one through the 28th. I think I got about four females lined up. Ashley is one. She's an up-and-comer trailblazer. I think I got Tiffany Tyler, Dr. Tiffany Tyler coming on. And then I'm trying to get Casina Boone. I sent her paperwork. Hopefully she can get it back to me. If not, we can get her on next month. Tamika Henry is another one. I'm also trying to get the lady from the Aces. Also the other lady from the Raiders. And then I got matter of fact, I got somebody else who I know I'm going to bring on. Hopefully she listening. I think her name was Trishelle. And I never met her before. But I read her bio and I was like, man, this lady is pretty amazing. Her name is Talitha Kumi. So if anybody know who Talitha Kumi is, tell her to contact me, 702-482-2574, so we can get her scheduled and get her on. But man, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, remember 5:35. If you can't watch the live, go watch the replay. Shout out to Official Black Las Vegas for posting the episode in the news feed. Shout out to all the members over there in the Black Las Vegas. Shout out to all the members of all the groups that I'm in. The One group, the business networking group, the business coaching group, all of those people that I'm in groups with them. Thank you for participating. Thank you for joining in. And then if you got a podcast, you want me to support, I want to show you some support as well. All right, that's it, y'all. Make sure you show up tomorrow if you can, 9:00, Smith Center, Coffee and Commerce. Robert Twix Taylor is going to be talking there. It's also another lady talking as well. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. But be on the lookout. Also, be on the lookout for my podcast, the Commerce First Podcast, which is an extension from my 88.1 FM show, which I'm on there every third Monday. This month, we're going to take the fourth Monday because of President's Day. I guess it was a holiday, messed up the schedule. So you can catch me on there as well. I'm on there at 9:00 in the morning. It's only a 30-minute show, 9 to 9:30. But like I said, you can catch me on my podcast. The podcast is going to be once a week where we'll be highlighting a different chamber member in their business every week and giving them exposure that they need. Hopefully, we can get them some business. I really like this role. I really like this opportunity. So the businesses that I have been able to bring on my show so far has been very rewarding. I've been told that the most loyal clients that people have gotten have came from listening to my show and reaching out. And I think that's pretty amazing. It just shows value that when you put a message out there, that when you market, you put yourself out there, you just never know who's going to hear you. And it may be the person exactly that you need to hear, that you can help and that they can help you within your business. So y'all keep on showing up. Never give up, right? It's a time to play. It's a time to be serious. Always remember, have a plan or become somebody else's plan. And lastly, man, you heard Shaundell say it's self-love, man, self-confidence. Man, just love yourself. Just because you have a bad day don't mean it's a bad week. Just remember it was a bad day, and we're going to have 6 good ones after it. But I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for joining in. Join me on my next one. Until then, peace. Valentine's Day, y'all. I got an announcement today. I don't think it's the right time. If you go look at my post, you go look at my page, see, I'm not that busy. You see what's missing. I'm missing off my page. You check it out. Time is changing, people changing. You gotta be aware of things all around. Regardless, happy Valentine's Day, y'all. Tip, I love you. Everybody who came home to work. Thank you for prior guests like I'm on here, always my